G'day, my name's Morrigan. There's a little cat called Harriet sitting here with me, and I'm completely exhausted, and maybe she is too. I don't know. So I suppose I should unpack a couple of those statements for you so you understand what's going on. G'day, I'm clearly Australian. My name's Morrigan. No, I'm not trying to say Morgan pretentiously or with an Irish accent. My name's similar to Morgan, but there's an I right in the middle of it. You're gonna say hi, or you're just gonna be shy? You can be shy. And I'm completely exhausted, and maybe my cat is too, I don't know. I'm gonna have to unpack for you a little bit what's been happening in Australia recently. But heads up, it's really not a pretty story. So 2019 ended for us with widespread fires. And then in 2020 and 2021, we had the pandemic, of course. And then I live in Queensland, and 2022 started for us with another natural disaster. So we had widespread flooding. It was one of the worst floods in Australian history, and to give you an idea of just how bad it was, the same amount of rain approximately fell on us in 3 days as falls on London over the course of an entire year. And since then, we've been experiencing widespread inflation and a housing crisis. So everything's getting a lot more expensive to buy here, and there aren't enough houses in my state for all the people who live here. And I don't know how everybody else is coping with this. Maybe you're doing really well and you're just taking it all in your stride and getting on with it all. But for me, it's been a lot, and it's taken quite a lot out of me. So I've noticed that my concentration, my motivation, and my mood, being honest, are all pretty low right now, to the point where I'm starting to get a little bit worried about it. So I did some Googling around topics like fatigue and burnout, and even dysthymia, and all the resources I'm finding online are giving me pretty similar, pretty basic advice. Things like eating a healthy diet, exercising 3+ times a week, putting a lot of structure and routine in place in your life to reduce unpredictability, and doing things in your spare time that you find restorative or that you enjoy. None of that is earth-shattering, and none of that is stuff that I'm doing consistently in my life at the moment. So I've never been the type of person that experiences stress and then goes on a 10K run in order to deal with it. I myself tend to rely much more heavily on a couple of well-worn, pretty dysfunctional avoidant coping strategies. So I'll do things like oversleep, overeat, numb out with social media so that I don't have to think about what's going on at the moment, things like that. I certainly usually don't ever acknowledge the situation or talk about it. But surprise, surprise, my old habits really aren't getting me anywhere good right now. And so maybe I should do something different. So I have a couple misgivings about the advice that the resources are giving me. Firstly, I am kind of attached to my skeptical, shambolic lifestyle, possibly even a little bit dysfunctionally proud of it. The idea of becoming one of those relentlessly cheerful, hyperactive gym bunnies just horrifies me. I don't even want to hang out with people like that, let alone become somebody like that. But then the solution is pretty basic to that one. Being honest about it, I don't think you really need to be sort of apathetic and blasé in order to avoid being annoying and obnoxious. My second misgiving, again, is pretty easy to knock out. I'm pretty tired. I've just been rambling about how tired I am for the last couple minutes. So the idea of making broad, sweeping changes to big parts of my life don't really sound that great to me right now. So again, I think a middle road would work here, in that rather than making big changes, I just make a couple of little changes consistently. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I've set myself one simple goal: to make 1, maybe 2 changes to my life a week. They're gonna be small, and then I'm gonna track the results over time to see if collectively they add up and improve my welfare. So those changes are gonna be things like trying a short 15-minute exercise routine for a week, or trying a couple of new recipes. Heads up, I am a total disaster in the kitchen. I cannot cook to save my life. And you're very lucky that you don't have to eat the results of the food that I'm gonna make. My reasons for filming this, well, there are 3. A couple of them relate to me and one of them relates to you. So the first reason is that I'm a procrastinator and an avoider, like I said. So if I'm just left to my own devices and without any kind of supervision, I'm probably not going to do the thing. So the idea that I might have a couple of people watching me and an obligation to upload every week means that I might have to do something every week in order to have something to upload. And then I might make some progress. The second reason is that personally I'm interested in the results. So I'd like to see if anything actually happens and if I get better by making a couple of changes here and there. And the third reason is that I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person that doesn't feel great right now. I think there's been a lot of stress and a lot of uncertainty for a lot of people, and one or two of us might be struggling now as a result of it. And if we band together, if a couple of you find me, it might be really great if we support each other, motivate each other, swap tips and tricks on what's working and what doesn't work for us, and then maybe we could get better collectively. So if you're tired, if this sounds like you and like something that you might benefit from, if you think this sounds hilarious and ridiculous and you want to watch to see me try and do things that I'm really terrible at, go for it. If you just want to hang out, you're also welcome. So I'll see everybody on the next video. Wish me luck and hooroo.